All right, our next video here is to create a Google form. This can be a great way to poll students, poll parents, or even give quizzes or tests. Now, to create a Google form, I'm going to click on New, and I'm going to have to click on down here and hover and say More, and then I'm going to click on Forms, Google Forms. From here, I have a couple of different options. Up at the top, I can choose my color palette or put a picture. This will give me a preview. This little eyeball here will give me a preview of what it looks like on the web if I were to send this to students. And then these are settings that I can have. Some of the settings may include restrict to Omaha CSC users. I want to collect the email addresses. If you're doing this for students, you would definitely want to do that. If it's for a test, you'd want to limit to one response. And you can choose whether you want people to be able to edit answers after they've submitted it. Once again, you probably don't want to do that for students. And then to see whether this is to let the person who fills out the form see responses. So once again, if that's a quiz or a test, you probably don't want kids to be able to see the results, or at least everyone's results. In this option, you can show a progress bar and shuffle the questions. Shuffling the questions is really great when you have a lot of kids on devices. We all know that little eyes can occasionally be off track and wander. So if you click shuffle questions, then kids will get different questions in different orders. And quizzes, you can make this a quiz, and you can even have it immediately grade. We'll go over that later. I'm just going to go back right here and show you how to create a simple quiz. So here, my quiz is going to be titled Just for the Heck of It. And then down here, I can give a detailed description or not. Now, I clicked right here on Untitled Question to begin creating my first question. Now, I'm going to title this What Would You Rather Do? And I'm going to make this multiple choice. Okay, I have lots of different answers or options for my questions. I can do a short answer, which would just be something that would give space for a couple of different words. For instance, the capital of Nebraska is Lincoln. Lincoln would be a short answer. A paragraph response, multiple choice, so they would select A, B, C, or D. Check boxes, they could check multiple boxes to see which one's right. A drop-down box, a linear scale, so from a scale from 1 to 5, how well did I understand this material? And you can also do things that require time and date to be entered. So what would you rather? Go to the beach? And then right here, I just clicked on Add Option, and another one came up. Go to the fair? Or go skiing. Now, if you notice on the side, I can actually add an image by clicking this. So if you were doing a science test, you could ask, which one of these images is the femur? And you could put images of lots of different bones, and then the kids could guess which one is the femur. It can be very useful and powerful here. Now, I'm finished with this. And at the bottom here, I get to decide whether I want it to be required or not. I'm going to choose to make it required. Now I get to add another question if I would like. For this one, I'm going to choose checkboxes. Which of these states have you been to? I hope you've all been there. Just going to add Texas. And for this one, you can see that it will allow you to check multiple boxes. I'm going to also make this required and add one more question. Do you believe we will go to the moon again? And I'm going to make this a linear scale. Okay, so my label 1 is no way. 5 is absolutely. Okay, so we're going to let you choose that on a scale. Once again, I'm going to require this question. Now, it's simply as easy as that to create a quiz or a test. Now, the next thing I have to do is send it out. One thing I want you to double check here is when I click, you notice that there's a star when it's required next to the words. You want to make sure those stars are there so that the kids are required to answer all of the questions. Anyhow, I'm going to go back to sending this out. If I click send, I could send this to my classroom. I can actually, once we have a Google Classroom, you could send it directly to that. What I'm going to do is send this to David and Dale. And I'm going to go ahead and make these guys take this little quiz, and then I'll show you what the results look like when they're finished. All right, and we're back. So I sent that link out, and I've got a couple of responses to my questions. And I'm going to show you what that looks like on the teacher or the receiving end of the form. So if I click over at the top over here, I see questions, and then I see responses. You can see that I have 3 responses. I'm going to go ahead and click on those. Now, from here, I get a couple of different options. The first one I'm going to look at is summary mode. For each question, it is going to give me the percentages for each person answering which answer. So you can see that a third of the people wanted to go skiing, a third wanted to go to the fair, and a third wanted to go to the beach. Which states have you been to? Everyone's been to Nebraska, Iowa, and Texas. Fewer have been to Colorado and Florida. And remember that this was the multiple check question. So this kind of shows you how that response looks. And this one was the sliding scale question. Do you believe we'll go to the moon again? Over here, no way at 0 and number 1, and then absolutely at number 5. You can see that one person said, I'm kind of on the negative side, not definitely, but not positive. And then 2 were higher up, closer to absolutely, but not confident. So this gives you an example of what the summary looks like. Now I can go to individual. And this will show me what each question looks like. Now, I can also click over here and create a spreadsheet of my responses. I'm going to do that one more time to show you. Look over here. See the green? Click on the spreadsheet. I'm going to create a new spreadsheet for this form. And here you can see that it tabulates each answer. So one person chose each of the options for which you'd rather do. And then these are the checks that people chose for what states they've been to. And this is the number selected for if they go to the moon. Now, if you have kiddos and you require that they enter their email address or their names, then you can identify students, which we didn't do here. Another great option for doing this sort of quiz is something like polling on, would you rather have our dinner party on October 3rd, October 10th, or October 15th? And then you could easily see a summary of responses as to how many people can do, or what percentage of people could do each particular day. There's a lot of power inside of these forms. Make sure you ask if you have any questions with them. Thanks.